On the night of April 14, 1912, the RMS Titanic, the largest ship in the world, sank in the North Atlantic Ocean, resulting in one of the most devastating maritime disasters in history, with over 1,500 people losing their lives. The tragedy sent shockwaves around the globe, and the ensuing recovery efforts were a grim reminder of the catastrophe. But here's what they never reported: the crew of the RMS Mackay-Bennett, a Canadian commercial cable ship that was tasked with recovering the bodies of the Titanic's victims, found over 300 lifeless corpses floating in the icy waters. The crew worked tirelessly to retrieve the bodies, but they soon realized that they couldn't possibly store them all on board. And that's when the story gets strange. Due to the lack of space and the rapidly deteriorating condition of the bodies, the crew was forced to make a heart-wrenching decision: they would have to burn many of the bodies at sea. The Mackay-Bennett's crew, led by Captain Frederick H. Larnder, was faced with an unimaginable task. They had to identify the bodies, document their personal belongings, and then perform a somber ceremony before committing them to the flames. The sailors, many of whom were not accustomed to such a gruesome task, were deeply affected by the experience. What the investigation found next changed everything. The recovery efforts were not just about retrieving bodies, but also about maintaining dignity and respect for the deceased. The crew's actions were guided by a sense of duty, compassion, and reverence, as they sought to honor the memories of those who had perished. As the days passed, the Mackay-Bennett's crew continued to recover bodies, but the sheer scale of the disaster soon became apparent. The ship was not equipped to handle such a large number of corpses, and the crew was forced to prioritize their efforts. Nobody could explain what happened next. The exact number of bodies that were burned at sea was never officially recorded, and the details of the cremations were not fully disclosed. The lack of transparency surrounding this aspect of the recovery efforts has sparked controversy and debate among historians and researchers. The Titanic disaster was a traumatic event that shook the world, and the recovery efforts were a testament to the resilience and determination of the human spirit. However, the fact that many bodies were burned at sea, without a proper burial or ceremony, raises questions about the treatment of the victims and their families. But here's what they never reported: the burning of the bodies at sea was not just a practical necessity, but also a symptom of a larger problem: the lack of preparedness and resources to deal with a disaster of such magnitude. And that's when the story gets even darker. The Titanic tragedy was not just a maritime disaster, but also a reflection of the social and economic inequalities of the time. As we reflect on the events that unfolded in the aftermath of the Titanic's sinking, we are reminded of the importance of dignity, respect, and compassion in the face of tragedy. The story of the Mackay-Bennett's crew and their heroic efforts to recover and honor the victims of the Titanic serves as a poignant reminder of the human cost of disaster and the importance of learning from the past. What the investigation found next changed everything. The Titanic disaster was not just a historical event, but also a cautionary tale about the dangers of hubris, complacency, and the importance of preparedness. The burning of the bodies at sea remains a haunting and disturbing aspect of the Titanic story, a reminder of the horror and the tragedy that unfolded on that fateful night. As we remember the victims of the Titanic, we are forced to confront the darkness and the uncertainty that surrounds us. And so, we are left with a haunting question: what other secrets lie beneath the surface of this tragic event, waiting to be uncovered? This story deserves to be heard. You know what to do.